All right. All right, my man, John. So yeah, what I wanted to first get into was just kind of your origin story, like I think it'd be really cool for people to hear why you started this and what that whole thing was like in the very beginning.
Yeah, so thanks a lot for having me, Trey. Yeah, it was basically two dads from Delray. The COVID had just happened. I think it was March, middle March, when this whole thing kind of started, and they abruptly shut down all the restaurants. And I'm a commercial real estate guy. I do a lot of work with restaurants. I'm a former restaurant guy. I was in the business over 35 years. So we're talking, and he's saying, "Hey, I always see you on Instagram. You're posting about the restaurants you go to, and always trying to pump them up and take pictures of food. And is there anything that we can do right now?" And thought about it. I've got a lot of followers on Facebook. I spend way too much time on social media.
Yeah.
And also, he was an Elk and I'm an Elk, and we were just thinking about kind of Delray and what could we potentially do. And so we got off the phone. I started pacing around my pool a little bit, and I started to think about the catering model. So if we could basically apply the principles of catering to the restaurants, and what I mean by that is everybody orders up front. So think about when you go to a wedding. You order that. When they send you the invitation, they ask you, do you want chicken? Do you want beef? Do you want vegan? Do you have any special things? Whatever. But that's kind of the idea. So if all these restaurants are kind of doing their own thing and just kind of running around trying to get business going. And we were like, well, what if we went to a restaurant and said, hey, make us a menu, or just simplify your menu. And then let's tell everybody to order on, say, a Sunday, and then we'll pick it up Monday night. And that way you can order all your product, you can order labor, you can hire people back potentially for at least one day. And let's see how that works. And so when we got to about 400 members, we decided to get a restaurant. Nobody wanted to work with us. They didn't get it. A lot of people were just like in shock about what was going on. And the first one, we did 78 dinners with 400 members.
Wow.
And from there, just kind of been steamrolling from there ever since. Some restaurants get it, some don't.
Yeah.
The ones that get it, that get active and get are proactive, do really well. Not only that, they're building a customer base outside of where they would normally have. And that's one of the best things we hear is, hey, I've lived here 15 years. I drove by that place every day, and now it's my go-to restaurant.
How long ago did you start the Supper Club, and how many members do you have now?
So we're going on our 6th week now. So we're going on a month and a half, and we just crossed over 11,000 members, and we're already at 11. I think we already broke 100. So we're already into the 11,200 zone.
Mm-hmm. Were you ever surprised at how fast it was growing?
Yeah. I mean, this was just, it's like somebody said, if we would have stopped to think about it, we probably never would have done it, but we didn't. And it's become, so what's happened with these pages, a lot of times it just becomes a place for everybody to post their menus. So, most restaurants are out there doing their social media. They got someone working for them, whatever. This has become a platform. And we didn't even see that coming. It's a platform where people are coming to exchange ideas, place where restaurants can post their menus. We let restaurants do videos if they want, with their staff. Michael Salmon over at Flybird's done a great job with that. That's what people want to know. They want to see the people that are behind the restaurant. They want to see the chef step forward. They want to see the owner step forward. They want to get to know everybody. We miss that hospitality right now. We're all kind of sequestered in our own little thing, and we try to socialize as much. But I think everybody misses hospitality. You miss going out and having a good dinner and with good people and a good bartender and a good server and just being in an atmosphere with a whole bunch of people around you.
Yeah, and it really puts all the restaurants in one place. You don't have to go look at 20 different websites and fish through the tabs and the menus. And then on top of that, you can, on the spot, have a conversation with all these other people that are also in the group.
That's been amazing. So, and the restaurants that get that are not only having fun right now during this traumatic period that we're going through, they are building their customer base, like I said. So as things start to loosen up, these guys are going to have a customer base that they didn't have going in. So, trying to put a positive on a negative thing.
So this whole thing was really, put together to support local restaurants that, people love and could really use a boost from all of us right now. So when you look at the restaurants that are the most successful on this supper club platform, what are some of the things that they are doing to make sure that they are successful?
Right. Great question. So if I was a restaurant, I would basically, number one, take a look at my menu and think about how does it look on a phone. This is the platform that most people are using right now. I've actually got a big screen. It's the Big Apple. So think about even smaller. How's that going to look on a phone? Is it going to be readable? Are people going to understand it? Do you have your address on there? Do you have your phone number? Do you have an online way for people to order? So that would be the first thing. I would be posting my menu every day. So I would wake up at 10 o'clock, especially if you're doing a Sunday brunch or something like that, post your menu at like 7 in the morning. I would post your menu. Hey guys, here we go, another day. By the way, we've got these items ready for you right now. Come by, pick us up, check us out tonight. Then later on, I would maybe do a video with my chef real quick. Hey guys, we're excited to cook for you tonight. We've got some great items. By the way, this is our most popular thing that we cook when we were open. We really miss you guys. We've got some great cocktails to go along with this. Can't wait for this to be over. Just want to give everybody a hug. Boom, 30 seconds. After that, later on in the day, take a picture of your food. How's it coming out? How's it looking? And then when it gets down to dinner time, somebody did a great photo of all the to-go bags lined up. You know what I mean? Gets people excited. And that's what I would do on a daily basis. And then when you do your events, kind of the same thing. For the events, we were talking about this. We had a lot of restaurants in the beginning that just gave us their menu and said, here. Well, there's no urgency to that. There's no call to action. So what I recommend to most restaurants is either do an item you don't normally do, or do basically either a group thing for a family meal, put something together. Meal kits are very, very popular right now. One of our guys is going to sell over 200 pot pies tomorrow. A lot of people don't even want it to be cooked. They want to take it home, put it in their freezer, and then cook it later. So a little bit of that meal prep aspect works. We've got people that are doing provisions, so you can get paper towels and toilet paper while you're there. A lot of people don't want to go into the Publix. So, hey, if I can pick up my chicken and pick up a few items that I need, that's all revenue on your side. I definitely recommend upselling. So either on your menu that you post for the event or even on your regular menu. Number one, I wouldn't be using my restaurant menu right now. I would throw that out and I would make something in a flyer. You should definitely be most restaurants should be paring down their menus anyway, only because you're not doing the numbers you're used to. And, you want to run a leaner, meaner ship. You don't want to be throwing food out at the end of the week. So I would definitely be thinking about paring down that menu, making it readable. And then, just following up with social media, interacting with your guests. So, I know a lot of people don't like social media, but it's vital. It really is vital right now for restaurants. So, if you don't, schedule out an hour a day where you go onto the site, whichever local chapter, if it's Jacksonville, if it's Delray, and see if anybody, where's your menu? Is anybody talking about it? Sometimes people are asking questions, and get in there. You know what I mean? It's great when a chef goes in there and goes, hey man, so glad you enjoyed the crawfish boil last week. Wait do you see what we have for you next week? Stuff like that goes a long way.
Yeah. Yeah. And back to the menus, it's important that it's not just the same old menu rehashed that someone can just go to your website, and it's something that feels exciting and new and exclusive to the times and the platform, and people know that they can come here and expect that, right? Is that what you're saying?
Well, yeah. And I mean, and that's the thing also, we don't want to lock anybody into anything. We want the restaurants to do, we had an event last week where somebody was doing $27 pot pies, and we were like, oh my God, this just isn't going to work. She sold out, so we don't know. We don't know what's going on, but case in point, that's not her normal menu. You know what I mean? She did something different. She made all these different pot pies. She made them big. So I didn't realize it, but you get like 4 servings out of there. So actually, they're about the same price as Flybirds, which is doing $10 ones, but they're smaller. So we don't like to kind of dictate what people should do. The main thing is be creative, have fun, and don't be afraid to get outside your comfort zone a little. People appreciate that, especially when it comes to the food.
Yeah. And forgot what I was gonna say.
That's all right. So, one of the other things, like I said, is upselling of alcohol. That's important too. A lot of these restaurants are either sitting on beer wine, or liquor, especially. Well, a lot of the restaurants here in Delray were ordering up for St. Patty's Day. And then St. Patty's Day didn't happen. That was kind of the first big holiday that they got beat on. And in Delray Beach, St. Patty's Day is huge. So these guys are sitting on all this alcohol that they paid for already, all these stuff. So like Tim Finnegan's did, while you're waiting in line, you get a double Moscow Mule, you can get a Jameson and ginger, and they've got closed containers for you. They give it to you. What we're trying to do right now with a lot of these restaurants that are doing pickup is to try to bring as much hospitality to it as you can. You know what I mean? For a long time, takeout was just kind of a very impersonal experience. And I think going forward, pickup, takeout, delivery, people are going to want that to be more as much of a dine-in experience as possible, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. And one thing that I've noticed is, to your point of wanting to encourage restaurant owners to stay active on the page and, come in, check it out every day, post. The audience is there. I mean, you guys are up to 11,000. We've got 5,500 in Jacksonville. The people are just sitting there, and all the restaurant owners really need to do is just come in and show up, and one thing that really helps a lot is people love pictures, like if you see a picture of something that looks good versus just, oh, I was at such and such restaurant today. So I think the restaurant owners can really they're the ones that are right by the food all day long. Like take some pictures,
And you got a burger, you got some steaks that are sitting on the grill there sizzling away. Just whip your camera out and do a 20-second, not even 5-second video.
Yeah,
video. The sizzling and the flames. I'll start smelling it. I'll order food right then and there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that goes a long ways. I'm kind of surprised that more restaurant owners aren't more active and just, I mean, it seems like it's just automatic. Like whoever shows up are the people that are going to get the most business. There's thousands of people just sitting here watching this,
What are we doing right now? We're all stuck inside, Some of us are working from home, but I'm always taking a peek at social media. It's a great forum. One of the guys, Flybird, who's one of our great stories, I think I read you his text the other day. He said, basically to us, he said, you guys have reached the promised land. He's like, I can advertise in newspapers, magazines, radio, whatever, TV, whatever you want to do it. There is no set of focused eyeballs that I know want my product like you. And what he says is, you say you have 11,000. I say you have 30,000 because every one of that one, they've got 4 people in their house. They've got 3 people in their household. He goes, Delray's a big family area. So it's like, it's not just 10, it's 30. And to be able to have a platform where I know when I go on there and I put some content there, that it's going to go out to those people. He said, it's invaluable. So restaurants, you've created this platform. You're doing a great job. It's up to them to take advantage of it, though. They've got to get involved. And like I said, even if it's a guy, I keep waiting for this one. I'm waiting for the old guy who says, I hate social media, but he's doing a video. You know what I mean? I mean, that to me would be hysterical.
Well, one of my favorite stories that you guys have is Caesar's barbecue, because what you were saying was the food was amazing, but just not that many people knew about it, right? And now look what's happening.
So Caesar, he's been cooking his ribs on the side of the road on Federal Highway there between Boynton and Delray for a while. And, he's always had his loyal following. I think he cooked at the church that he was, he's a member of. He's done stuff there, and he's kind of done plate lunches for people. And he finally got a grant from the CRA a couple of years ago, and I don't know what happened. He's finally getting the build out going on, and then COVID hit. And he's got his food truck there, and he's got his he puts the big oil drum container where he smokes all his ribs out there. And the first day that they came out, they did over 300 dinners, and now he's over 400. He was 5 away from 500 last Saturday. And then he came back Sunday and sold another 125. So these are all people that didn't even know this guy existed. And now he's being recognized as the best damn ribs in all of South Florida. So it's amazing.
Wow. Those are some beautiful stats, man. Would you say?
And we try to keep stats. And I know, I don't ever want to I don't mean to interrupt, but I don't ever want to have I don't want to know your numbers. You know what I mean? We don't want to know your sales. That's your business. What I
Yeah,
want to
right.
know is, has your business increased? I want to know, are you having a better experience? Like with Delray Hideaway, his numbers have gone steadily up. He's serving Mai Tais in a bucket. He's also doing great like bar food options, and his numbers are going up. But the main thing, he's like, dude, I've been able to call 3 of my waitresses back, bartenders. They're having fun. People are tipping like crazy. You know, this is a person who for the first 2 weeks, almost 3 weeks, didn't have any cash coming in. And now she walked out of there. He's like, I've never seen somebody so happy to make $85 in my life, you know? So those are the stories that we love. And, you know, there's opportunity for everyone that's in Jacksonville. There's opportunity for everyone that's in any of these chapters that we've got going. But like we're talking about, there are some best practices to put into place. There are some things we've found have worked. But inside of that, it's up to the restaurants, really. You know, we provide the platform. We give them a place. We'll interact with customers. We want to hear about stuff. You know, we go out there. We do Facebook Lives with people to try to keep it going. We want this to kind of almost be like a Food Network channel in a lot of ways. There's always something to kind of come here to watch, and it's always a positive story. So the other thing we talk about is we're not a restaurant review page. So anybody that wants to come on and complain about, you know, their pizza was cold, or, you know, they felt slighted in a way, this is not the forum for that. You know, if you want to send an email on the side or a message on the side, we'll definitely take a look at it. But this was created to celebrate our local restaurants, our mom and pops, our local restaurants. That's why we're here.
Exactly.
We're here to celebrate them and acknowledge the hard work, sacrifice, and the skills that these people, you know, anybody who's tried to cook understands the skills of trying to put together a good meal. And these guys do an awesome job at it. They dedicated their life to it.
Exactly. Totally agree. Hey, John, would you mind putting your phone on silent for a minute?
Yeah, no worries.
I know you're getting all those supper club pings. So what are some other top success stories? Like you're talking 400 or 500 covers a day for Caesars. What are some other stories like that?
We've got a few. So one of my favorites is Rogi's Pierogies. The guy is in Boynton, actually. We have a Boynton chapter, and we cross over because Delray and Boynton are right next to each other. And he's in an industrial warehouse, and I guess he was selling out of there, and I guess he had a few deals with a couple of delis where he was putting his product in. But Robin called me one day and was like, this guy is going down. He's like, if he doesn't make money today, he's going to have to close his doors. So we mobilized, and she started posting, and then we went out there and we did like a Facebook Live out there, and the guy went from that to totally thriving. I mean, his business is doing great. He actually threw a party, 3 to 6, not a party, but he basically set it up so when you pull up to grab your pierogies in the middle of this industrial complex with all these warehouses around you, he's got his podium set up, someone else set up a podium, they're doing their liquors, and so people were able to order their food and get their food socially distancing, wearing their masks, everybody wearing gloves, best practices, but it gave people a chance to kind of socialize and go out for a little bit. And he had a great day. He had a great day in sales. So that's one. Papa's Tapas, which is a local.
How many covers?
Well, so for him, it's not about covers. He's just selling dozens of the pierogies, kind of ready to go. He had a guy there sauteing, so you could eat them there if you liked, or you could take them home with you. But covers-wise, I mean, obviously Caesar's great story. Lisa Walsh over at Tim Finnegan's a great story. She closed her doors. So I called her the first week that we started, and she's like, John, you know, I mean, it's a great idea. I really appreciate you guys trying to do something positive here, but I did $17 yesterday. I did 2 dinners. We're just going to close and see what happens, you know, what's going to happen in the next week or so. And she kept an eye on us. She joined our page. And then Papa's Tapas, another great story, went from doing 5 dinners normally to 180. And she saw that and was like, all right, you know what? Let's give this thing a shot. So she hired her crew back. She did a great job with her graphic designer. She put a great menu together, 3 items. I think it was Guinness beef stew, chicken curry, which was amazing. And then also she did like a mahi. So she had a fish, she had a chicken, and she had a beef dish. Well, then what she did was she set up her outside bar and she started doing like double Moscow mules, Jameson and ginger. She added all these other upsells on there, which I think is an important component for any restaurant that's looking to do this. Get that extra money out of people when they're there. You know, whether it's a cocktail, whether it's a glass of wine, whatever it may, bottle of wine that you're sitting on, whatever it may be. But yeah, so she's been able to go from, I think the first time she did 180, she was our big person for a while. She did, I think 335 was her high point on a Saturday. So that's another one. I got tons
So
of
she
them.
went from 180 to 335, and how long did it take to do that? 2 days?
Yeah, 1 week she did that she did 180 on Thursday. I think she came back the next Wednesday and did 200, and then she went that next Friday and absolutely crushed it.
So it's important to stick with it, you know, just because your first time isn't a home run doesn't mean it's not going to be next time.
Oh, without a doubt. The first one is not, you know, unless you really are, unless you've got a lot of goodwill established and people know you, you know, you're kind of like the norm of restaurants, like from Cheers. But yeah, the you know, La Cigale is another restaurant here. They went a little higher end on the first one. And after they did theirs, they're like, you know what? We got this now. So they came back with a different menu. They dropped their prices. They added some more wine upgrades. They did some stuff like that. They came back, they doubled their numbers. And now this week we're hoping to get more numbers on there. So yeah, it's a process, you know, and that if the restaurants come on board and they hand you a menu and they're just like, you know, they call you up the next day and say, I don't have any orders, you know what, most times it's not going to work. This is a two-way street, you know, like we're not making any money right now. We're not, you know, we're thinking about monetizing it somehow going forward once this all stops. But there's really, you got to get in there and roll up your sleeves yourself. And if you don't understand social media, then we can help you with that, but you got to do the work yourself.
Yeah, it's not like the days of print ads where you run a print ad and then you do nothing. You just let the ad do what it does. You know, this is completely different. People need to come in and they need to water these seeds daily.
Absolutely. Yeah. And when you say that, it doesn't mean you have to do something that's not authentic. You know what I mean? People want that authenticity.
Yeah.
If you're a crotchety old guy who cooks food, I love it. You know what I mean? I want to see you talk about, you know, how you pound the veal out and you make sure you pull everything out and how you're so meticulous about what you do. Or, you know, people, it's exactly that. It's not print anymore, which means you've got so much more opportunity, you know, for people to really get a feel for who you are. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, this whole thing started because a lot of restaurants, you know, we were all in the same boat. We were all struggling, but at the same time, this is an opportunity to evolve. And if we don't evolve, we're only going to continue to struggle. So we can't just keep doing things the way we were doing them before. Would you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. You know, a lot of these restaurants are doing like maybe 5% takeout, 5% pickup. And if you're going to make it now with the occupancy rates that are going to happen, and we don't know what's going to happen with the rents right now, but, you know, you need to get that up to 30% now for pickup and takeout and delivery, maybe even 40% now to make your restaurant work. And it can be done. You know, it's just a pivot. These restaurants have to pivot. Otherwise, they're going to perish. There's no two ways about it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, and they also, I think restaurant owners would really benefit from showing their faces more, you know, getting on, doing some video and pulling people into their world. Like you said, when you know the person behind the brand, the actual human being and what their story is, and just hearing their voice, there's nothing more compelling than that. You know, that you can't compare a logo and a menu to that.
Oh, 100%. And it's such a great opportunity for this right now. You know, I love knowing that when I give my money to Caesar's Ribs, that's going to feed his family. It's going to go put food on his family's back. And, you know, I know that money's not going to leave where I live, you know, and I think that's the best opportunity. And, you know, kind of the silver lining, hopefully, on this whole thing is, you know, restaurants, in my opinion, are that last bastion of small business. You know, our hardware stores have turned into Home Depots. Our local shopping places have turned into Walmart neighborhood centers. And, you know, God bless Publix. They do a great job at it. But, you know, a lot of these businesses, you know, they've been eaten up by the bigger guys. Amazon came in and pretty much decimated retail. You know, people aren't buying their clothes in malls anymore. People aren't doing, but small business restaurants. I don't know about you. I really don't enjoy eating at Bennigan's. Nothing to knock on them. I don't enjoy a Fridays. I don't really enjoy, you know, a number of the chains. Nothing against them, but I do enjoy going to a place that's local, where I know the chef and I know the owners, that to me is just, you can't beat that experience anywhere.
You're right, man. It's a totally different world. I think everybody really appreciates that. Well, yeah, John, thanks so much for doing this, man. Did you have anything else that you wanted to add to it?
No, just, I hope the restaurants listen to this, because I see great, there's two types of restaurant people I meet with. I meet the ones that are trying to figure it out, and I meet the ones that are just like, you know what, we have no choice. We're going to make this work. And whatever they have to do, they do. And we're all making mistakes. So don't be dissuaded if you do a video and you don't get, 5 views within the first half hour or whatever it is. Just keep going. Like we were saying, it's a cumulative effect. Your first event might not be that good. Your next one may be a little better. Your next one may be a little better. So we're having just the opposite. One of our guys who does like a crab boil, his numbers are starting to come down again. So we're like, okay, well, what do we do here? So we're going to go out. We're going to pump him up with a video again. We're going to put up material. He's getting more active on social media. So but we're all figuring this thing out. What works, what doesn't work. You're with us. We look at the analytics, and we want to be there to help facilitate the small business restaurants get their message out. But you have to have a message.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Right on, my man. Well, it's been a lot of fun working with you on this stuff, and
you're awesome, bro.
I can't wait to see where it all goes, man.
It's going somewhere.
So thanks for doing this.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
We'll be in touch. You have a good one, right?
What's that?
You have a good one, okay?
Absolutely, my friend. You too.
All right. Take care, John. Bye-bye.